W is about what? So our client coming with the topic, with the goal, and we help them as a coach to achieve their goal. But what we add in our model, we add the other W, which is who. The person behind the topic. Beliefs, values, ideas. So we really not coach the subject or the topic, we coach the person. Where in the context, in the environment, that person is right here, right now. And by adding those three together, this is really when those three coming together, this is where the awareness coming, when the new learning coming, when the new development come. So by putting this together. And what we want to learn is how cultural intelligence can put those three together. So you know all these competencies. So there are 4 category and 8 competency. You know most of them. Just for just recap. Foundation, and the second is about creating relationship. There we have the competency number 3, which is super important, that established agreement. Competency 4, trust and safety. Without trust, there is no relationship. Doesn't matter if it is coaching or any kind of relationship. Being present, being 100% for your coach. It's not I go to my own mind and thinking about what should I ask next and how can I solve this problem. No, I am here with you. Being focused, being 100% present. About communicating effectively. How can I listen in a deeper level? And hopefully, what we want to get, it's a new awareness, new learning about myself. So what I learn, it's not about solving this specific topic. It's about something that I can use as a new learning. And then growth. So when we look at competency, we see the word context. Now I just pick some of them. Competency 2, we will get back to them. Competency number 2, when it's about being in a coaching mindset, we start with ourselves. We always start with ourselves, our own mindset. And this is about being aware and open to the influence of context. Competency 4, again, this is the trust, this is the really foundation of relationship. Seek to understand the client within their context, including their identity. So we see again the context coming back, environment, experience, and competency 6, active listening. So again, it was just some highlights of the context. And why did I take context? Context. So a person context include cultural background, experience, social environment, education, economical status, and geographic location. So context really influences us, how we think, how we behave, and how we interact with the world around us. So you cannot coach the person, you cannot coach that goal, this topic, if you don't look at the context of that person. You cannot be a good leader with empathy if you don't take the context into consideration. So now we want to learn a new model, a new framework, cultural intelligence. So this is a framework that is developed from Cultural Intelligence Center, and they use CQ instead of like Q as a IQ as EQ. So everything to do with intelligence. So if instead of cultural intelligence I did CQ, I refer to this framework. And this is really research based. This is evidence based. What I love with this model, this is not something that I find or someone else. This is really based on 20 years research. You can see more than 1,000 studies and survey, and it is implemented in 168 countries. So we can go and say what we are doing, this is really based on evidence. And before I start, so I talk about cultural intelligence, any of you, if you want to open your microphone or if you want to just put in the chat, when you hear cultural intelligence, uh, what does this mean for you? It's not right or wrong. Just guess if you don't know it already. If you know it, if you know the answer, just keep it. If you don't know it, just guess. Feel free to just open your microphone or Mary say it's empathy and knowledge of other culture. So we hear empathy and knowledge. Celine say cultural awareness for self and others. So I know my own culture and others' culture. Great, great. Ability to work and interact across culture and context. Thank you. Being sensitive to where one comes from, the context, awareness of culture's ability. Completely correct. You're expert, all of you. Thank you. If we look at the definition of Cultural Intelligence Center, they define it as a capability. So this is something that you learn. Some of us are more sensitive about other culture, much more adaptive. But this is something, regardless how you are as a person, this is a capability that you can learn to function more effectively. So regardless of your role, if you are a coach or leader, you can be really in the diverse situation. And when I say diverse, it's not just about cultural diversity. It's about gender. It's about age. So many of us, even like leading or coaching someone from another generation, again, in that situation and context. So context coming back here again. So let's try something together here. So please put in the chat if you think what it's come here now, if it is true or if it is myth. So I start with international experience predicts cultural intelligence. So just put it if you think this is myth or if it is true. We have lots of myth here. We have some myths, we have some true. We will come back to it. The next question is technical competence predicts success across culture. So if I'm a good doctor, if I'm a good programmer, if I'm a good coach, so I can function and be successful in across culture. Lots of myth. Great. Again, Oh, sorry. We have, let me go back. So here, high emotional intelligence predicts high cultural intelligence. This question was a bit tricky. True, true, true. Off true. And the last question, diversity predicts innovation. Diversity predicts innovation. Lots of true coming here. Hmm. I start with last one. This is indeed myth. So diversity doesn't necessarily predict innovation. This is a bit tricky. If you don't know how to act, how to behave in a diverse situation, research show that it could be the opposite. You can feel frustrated. You cannot be creative. You cannot think. If you're in the situation that you don't know how to behave with other or how others understand you, it can be really not good for innovation. So what we learn here, putting people together from different background, from different uh, uh, culture, it requires skills, it requires capability. The first one, international experience, there is a correlation. I would say both the orange one and high emotional intelligence, both of them, there is a correlation, but it's not really predicts. So you cannot say if I work abroad, it directly mean that I am good at cultural intelligence. No. So if I just work in the way that I am used to work, I live in Sweden, and many years ago, when I started to work with international team, the way of working, like Swedish way of working, didn't work internationally. So I have to relearn. And technical competence, I think all of you uh, answer correct. So this is absolutely not true. So you more than on top of technical experience, you really need learn how to if you how you interact as a doctor, as a programmer, as a coach. It is different in different culture. So thank you for engagement. So now we want to more go to cultural intelligence. So the framework that cultural intelligence center is put it in four components. In ICF, maybe we have 8 category and some subcategory, and here we have 4 category, and all of them have some subcategory. Today, I'm going to talk more about the overall. Let's start with CQ Drive. What is CQ Drive? It's your level of interest. It's about your motivation. It's about you're really genuinely how interested are you to be, work, and interact from people with other culture? And how confident you are. Is it something that you avoid? Or is it something, even if I don't know about this, but it is interesting for me? Just think about not as a coach, not as a leader, not in your work. When you travel, do you dare to try the local food if you don't know something? Are you curious? I see Tara, she's your person, my So here again, it is about motivation, and as we know, it's required that you be curious and be confident because it is unknown. Situation which is unknown, automatically our brain is avoided. This is in human nature to not go to a situation that is unknown. But have the confidence. I don't know it, but I am curious. I want to know. Seek your knowledge. As it says, it's about understanding about cultural similarity and difference. And what is in culture? It is a cultural system, which is economic, political, legal. I mentioned this yesterday in my other session. I had a coaching session or a mentoring session. I was listening to recording, and the lady, she wants to talk about abortion. And coach said, but this is illegal. So the first thing that coach says, so you as a coach, go with your own cultural understanding, your own filter, without knowing the cultural system, the legal system, the political system of your client. So knowledge, it's about legal system, political system, about value and norms in that specific culture, about communication norms. It's about language, how you use language, how you give space to each other. Leadership norms. And we are going to go to some part of this today a bit more. Let me check. So, most of us using English when interacting with international client. And I have just some example. It's about same words, maybe have different meaning. So I don't know if do we have anyone from Great Britain? I see someone from UK. Yeah, I see. They were okay. So you wait to answer this. Say, and if we have some American as well. When British say, I'm sure it's my fault. Divya, if I pronounce your name correctly, I saw that you were saying, what does that mean for you? I'm sure it's my fault. You can open your microphone.
Through this session, I'm actually getting more aware. So I am from Indian culture. And I started wondering that, I'm sure it is my fault. Some It can be sarcastic as well in certain cultures.
Thank you. Anyone else? What does that mean for you? I'm sure it's my fault when the British say.
From the Uganda culture, it's more of you take accountability, and it's I'm sorry, apologetic. That is
Thank
what
you.
it would mean.
Yeah. Thank you.
In Ireland, I think it would mean I'm taking responsibility. Oh, it's my fault. So it's taking ownership and responsibility, which would be very close to Great Britain,
Yeah. Thank you, Mary.
I have a different idea. Sorry. Oh, I didn't raise my hand. Sorry.
No worry. Go ahead, Leah.
I think that this is a stereotyping. Maybe they are so polite. Maybe they are not saying exactly that. They are saying maybe it is your fault. Think about it.
Let's see. We will look at it soon. Thank you, Leah. When British say, I hear what you say, How do you understand it? If I'm your manager or I'm your colleague, I say, I hear what you say.
It's your services to get buy-in that you help organization. As I mentioned, the company.
If you're not talking, please turn off your camera, your microphone.
I think what it means that I am listening, not the opposite of hearing, or the deepest meaning of hearing.
I'm listening. Anyone else? Thank you, Soha. Paul, you can participate as well.
Maybe
What does that mean for you, Paul, when you say, I hear what you say?
Well, I'm not British, but it could mean that you want to jump in. To be honest, it's a filler, or it could also mean that I understand what you're saying, but I maybe don't agree. Right? Often I don't agree.
Did we have? Thank you, Paul. Did we have any hands open? So let's go to the. Let's stay. The Americans say, "Let's stay in touch." This has I have been several American friends. Let's stay in touch. Anyone?
Let's connect.
Let's connect. So let's connect. Let's be in touch. Mary, if you're in Ireland, when you say let's stay in touch, what does that mean?
there's potential for follow-up in the future, like it was worth talking. Let's stay in touch, you know, but without any commitment as such.
Yeah. Great. So let's look at. So I'm sure it's my fault. So they mean it is your fault. So if anyone disagree with me, this is what I find it. I hear what you say. They mean that I disagree. And this I know. I'm a bit unsure about this. Let's stay in touch. It means I don't want to. So I have some American friend. They didn't really agree with that. They say it depends. Sometimes we say that, but sometimes we mean that we want to stay in touch as well. But what I just want to say with this exercise, even if it is just English, and now we have really like all of us, we are speaking English, just be aware. This is what we talk about, what I talk about, CQ knowledge. Be aware that word can mean differently. Expression can mean differently. Let's look other example. Now lots of us working digitally, and we use lots of emojis. So the first emoji, how many of you using that emoji? Just raise your hand. I see many of you. Just look. We are used, it's good, well done. But don't use it if you talk with people from Middle East. Ronaldo, you raise your hand.
Most often it's recommendation based.
You want to, maybe this was from a previous, if you use that. So you see, like, say, this is really interesting. And do we have anyone from Japan? No, I don't see. So this one in Japan means money. In France, Paul, is it correct? Does it mean you are a zero?
I'm not sure. I've been using it a fair bit, so I hope I'm not telling everybody that they're a zero for the last couple of years. Okay.
Yeah. So just be aware. This is, I just want to say, raise awareness. Things can mean different. Don't go from your own knowledge. Be aware. And if you are dealing with client from some other culture, be aware. What means for me maybe means differently for my client. for my colleague, for my friend. I talk about seek your knowledge in leadership. So we had several leaders in this group. Really be aware of how does it work. Is this person used to low power or is it really high power distance? So be aware of that. The person coming from the country that everything is direct, or no, it's really you don't say directly. Originally, I'm from Iran. Many years ago, 25 years ago, when I moved to Sweden, I was quite young. And my manager told me, I was working as a student. And she told me, if you feel for it, please do this. And I just think that I didn't feel for it, so I didn't do. And then day after, she was very upset with me or angry because she meant you have to do it, but I didn't understood. So I was more used to like direct communication, do it. And for her, she just gave me space. She didn't want to be direct. So we can really avoid miscommunication, misunderstanding. But just having this in perspective, when I talk with Paul, it's maybe different how I talk with Celine, how I talk with Soha, how I talk with Leah. How is my client? I should have my client as a preference, not me myself. Make sense so far? Yeah, great. People doesn't dare to show any sign about what should I do now? Yeah. And then it's about strategy. When we go to strategy, it's about planning, as I say. Be aware of what I know and what I don't know and plan for it. Now I'm going to have a meeting with people from France. I should be prepared. I should have a plan. Just this normal thing that in France you start to, I always confuse if you start to kiss from right or left. It's just be aware. Just read a bit. Have a plan before you go to meeting, before you have a client. And have a checking. Again, another exercise. True or myth? Respect is very important in multicultural workplace. Please add it in the chat. Say if it is true or myth. True. Lots of true here. I go forward. Working in multicultural environment can be stressful. We have talked about it a bit. True. Most people have the same expectation of their leaders. Meet. Great. And the last one, treat others in the way you would like to be treated yourself. Ronaldo say half and half. Sometimes as yourself, sometimes not. Tricky. I agree, it's tricky. So I would say, of course, respect is important. but how we understand respect, it's different from culture to culture. And don't treat, so the really golden rule is don't treat others in the way that you want to be treated. Do it in the way that they want to be treated. It's about them.
Whoever the coaches was catching up with new technologies and being open to really hear what
And with this said,
collaboration
we come to CQ action, which is about really behavior. So regardless how more our motivation and knowledge and strategy, if we don't show it, we don't have a CQ. So it is really about how we adapt in our behavior, how we adapt like both verbal, non-verbal, and how we deal, as I say again, how we deal with our client, with our colleague, with our friends. So it is about our behavior. I go back, I start the session with just talking about ICF competencies. So competency 2, remain aware of cultural influence, your own cultural influence and others. And I really want you to be, it is about mindset. Be open and honest with yourself. Just think 1 second. Do I have any filter with some client group? Is it anything that I really don't, or I avoid, or I'm not feeling comfortable? It could be because of the client accent, it could be from client culture, it could be like, just be honest with yourself. If you struggle with any gender or anything, just put it for yourself. Coming back to trust again, trust is foundation of all relationship. If I feel trusted, if I feel safe, I can be open. And here really seek your knowledge coming. Seek to understand the client within their context. We talk about respect. Really how you respect. So we know lots of examples that in some culture you have to kind of remove your plate before they say stop. Until you say thank you, they will really like give you more and more and more. So just like really, what is respect? The first thing, if you look at competency, it's about respect, not being judgmental. And again, how can I show my respect? It's about act of speech. We talk about be direct, be indirect. About modifying my behavior. It's about verbal and non-verbal. If we say non-verbal, many culture at looking directly in the eyes, it is unrespectful. You don't look at your parents in the eyes. You don't look at your teacher. You don't look at the doctor. You have, I don't know anyone that recognize what I'm saying in your culture. I see some of you. So don't take it by granted that this, again, adapt with my client in my coaching session, in my leadership. What should I do? And again, active listening. We just look at some example of some words. So I try to do some mapping. So I don't want to go so deep in this, but really map ICF competencies and how we can use those just four simple. Now today we didn't go to like under category, just like we talk about coaching mindset. I talk about my own motivation, my drive, be open with myself, and having strategy. What do I want to do about it? We are coaches, we are leaders, we always want, we love action. So what action we can take? I would like my suggestion, performance self assessment. So I'm working with, as I mentioned before, the CQ framework. And in this framework, the first thing we start with assessment that is really research based. Then you understand where are you in your this four category and the subcategory. And you will identify which category you need to develop. Adapt your coaching technique. We talk about it today a lot. How I give feedback to this colleague, to this client. My communication style. Verbal, non-verbal. Again, I want to really like emphasize both of them, verbal and non-verbal. Go to training, go to workshop. So I'm working a lot like with training and workshop. And then get feedback. The best thing from your mentor. When I am working with this as a mentor with cultural intelligence in mind, it's really, I turn off the camera, I just listen to the voice. Really, when I'm listening to the recording and say, what is it that we can miss? Get feedback from your client, from or other people around you. What can I do? I am in this journey. What can I do better? And with this said, I want to say that coaching is a human work. Don't go to autopilot. If there is one thing you take from this session from me, don't go to your autopilot. Be aware. Go with heart and cultural intelligence in mind. Thank you. I think I stop here.
We keep on going. We're at 9 out of 20 and keep on answering if you like. And at the same time, we can, in parallel, we can start to talk about what did you learn. Feel free to come off your microphone and to, or even just jump into the chat to share with us. What did you learn from today? What stood out to you? Yep. Divya?
Hi, Sarah. It was very interesting, and I couldn't come on video yesterday, but yesterday's session about PCC and deep coaching was fabulous as well. I wanted to ask that when it comes to like people working with people with different cultures, how, some examples of questions. So say they say something, and if we want to, I'm thinking challenge, but not challenge, like respectfully challenge what they are saying and what does it mean in their culture. How do you do that in your experience?
So the question is about how do you ask question with respect, correct?
Yeah.
I am coach, so I don't answer the question. I ask, what do you think? we coaches help to the client find their own. So what do you think? What would you do?
So if I can give an example, no, thank you for that. I was speaking to this person from a European culture. And while I understood the right meaning in the sense of we were talking of armor, and I realized that I'll be I'll be exploring more metaphors moving on from these sessions because it may mean different to different people. So she said, it's like an armor. I went on to say, what does an armor, how does the armor protect you? I am thinking I can say, what does an armor mean to you? So when, and or sometimes people are saying something. And I think you had this question yesterday as well. People are saying something, but it feels like something else. And you are like, if I ask anything, would it be disrespectful? Or, you have some bias because it's different culture. How can we deal with that?
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone that wants to? So this is super interesting question. How can we deal with that? I see, Maud, you have your raised hand. Is it?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
How would
Actually,
you do?
my question is similar or close because I am from the Middle East. I live in Canada and I coach people like all over the place, like global wide. The same challenge, excuse me, I was gonna ask not only about the cross culture, but across faith or faiths, especially with immigrants from one area to another where there is some, I wouldn't say conflict, but misunderstanding of faith and religion. So I'll try. This is my question. Like, this is very gray, but very sensitive area. So it depends on, like, at least we need to be very careful with terminology and language. Because as Devia said, like, one word can change the whole concept.
I completely agree that it could be sensitive. But if I just give some leading,
Yeah,
if I
please,
say,
because I need your, I need
yeah,
to hear it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just see Mary wants to say something. Maybe Mary, you want to say something before
I would just say the influence of ethics really carry a lot of weight here, and dealing with everything with respect, in your genuine level of respect and authentic level of respect.
Thank you.
The ethics, are living and bringing them into the dealing with any situation, your professional standards.
Thank you. I would say the key words for me yesterday, I was talking coaching, it's about partnership. It's about partnership. I am here together with you in the same level. And Divya and Mo, partner with your client. How we can partner with each other. We help each other. I ask question. How do you want? What do you want? Help me. That I don't need to be, we don't know. I'm working with clients from all over the world. It is impossible to know every client. Even if I learn, even if I go to seek your knowledge, even if I learn, but for this specific, I ask, how would you like to? Or there is something, I feel something. Yesterday we were talking about competency observation. We have a super powerful tool called observation. We feel something, we hear something in between, but we don't dare to bring it up. Maybe it is not respectful, but ask for permission. May I share something with you without having any attachment to this? Because I may be 100% wrong. And if they give their permission, share it with respect. This is what I feel. This is maybe sensitive with religion or whatever it could be. Or maybe I feel this has something to, is it okay? Is it correct? Either there is awareness coming, oh, this is it. Thank you, Maud, that is it. I know where it's coming from. Or either, no, it is not that. Make sense, Divya and Maud?
Yep.
Great.
It's more challenge for the client. Like even if we partner with the client, sometimes it's more challenge for them.
But more challenge is good. They are here to do some work.
Yep, I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. It was the end of the day yesterday and I was out, but I thank you for the reminder. I thought I'm going to use it in my peer coaching and, my observation skills. And if something is coming, how to say that and do that. So I'm definitely going to do that because I feel at times, but I think it was Puya who mentioned this thing yesterday. And I just felt that I need to excel at that because there is so much richness in what you are feeling in the co-created reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Divya, if I ask you for what was your takeaway? Any insight, any new thing?
Firstly,
Let's say from today, now you mentioned I will use observation. If you connect this more with cultural intelligence.
it's just I'm currently in the process of submitting my PCC application, and I was listening to my recording, and she is from a different culture, and though the session is, I think, really good, but I felt there were so many things that culturally I could have explored. I just assumed that this is what I know and this is what she means. So I was having this awareness since I was assessing my own recording, and it's very recent. So my key is I liked the quadrant about drive and knowledge and strategy and action. So I think I would be working on the strategy and action, at least just being aware. um I normally assume when we talked of how comfortable you are on working with different cultures, I felt I'm good. And that was because I normally connect with people human to human. And it works. But now this session has made me more aware. I said my uh, goal was to raise awareness. So I have got this raised awareness that at least be aware that this is a person from different culture, and it could be same culture as we mentioned yesterday, like it could be same culture, but it's a different person, and I need to be a bit more aware to explore the context, the where from the 3Ws. So that's the
Thank you.
big learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I really encourage you, do all of you, do assessment. For me, I was thinking I come from another culture, I live in another culture, my husband is from other culture, I deal a lot like my client. I was thinking when I some years ago when I want to do this cultural intelligence, I was expecting that I will be quite like high score in all those categories. But some under category, it was interesting for me that really was a kind of eye opener. So there, either you can do your own or you can have 360 that you will get observation as well from other people. And so sometimes when I feel like I'm shy or I don't ask, so some other people would understood me differently. So when you do assessment from your own and from other, you really get it kind of, you really see it. Where is it I need to change? Because we have some understanding, but this is just a tools or whatever tools that work for you. Diva asked me, when you say assessment, what does assessment means for you? So there is and from we use a cultural intelligence assessment. So again, this is research based. So this is the assessment that we get the license from them to do assessment. So it doesn't take more than 25 minutes, 30 minutes to do assessment. And if you want, you can send it for observation for 5 other people, and then in our classes we go through that and we look at it together with me mentor or from someone else that go through all those categories. What does that mean? What can you do about it? And if it is public, so it is so when you just send me a message and then we can organize it. So it is so we have to just get it and organize it so we can get the license.
Sorry, so when you say get the license, so basically every assessment has a cost to it.
Yeah,
Okay,
correct. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you, Paul, putting the SR coaching. It is success accelerator coaching. I like everything to do with acceleration. So, any other question? Or do we have question in chat?
We had one at the beginning. Do we get a recording of the event? And I think with that, with the same question, do we get access to the presentation?
Presentation, I'm not sure. I have to check with the eyes, but the recording, every one of you that has been, you will get access. It will be some editing of the recording, and you will have access to it. Absolutely.
And that was the only one that you didn't answer.
So I had another question and I was typing, but then I thought I can speak. That would be faster. Which is what has been you've been in leadership coaching or for 17 years. So when it comes to leaders, how have you found their acceptance to raising their awareness about cultural intelligence?
I would say companies. So because there are so many, again, research that show now it is kind of you cannot just work with people from your own culture. It is impossible in any country, I would say, in most. So whatever industry you work with, you want to attract the best talent from all over the world or in your own country. So this is the research showed that by learning that leader HR, so a lot of our training are to leaders and HR people in recruitment and in leadership, how you can use cultural intelligence in diverse situations to get better performance, better engagement, less turnover, and really, really, so it hasn't been so, if I'm honest, it hasn't been so difficult because there is a need that market have today.
But Sarah, you know how I see it's my perception. Like if you are in Sweden, Sweden is like heaven for all the research and all the good work. And so if you have worked with people from across the world, I understand there is a gap. I actually felt that emotional intelligence is standard. Everybody knows about it. And yesterday I was speaking to a senior professional in IT, and he was like, but I never had to face any issues because I don't know emotional intelligence. And I was like, okay. So I'm just thinking outside Sweden, how has your experience been?
And as I said, I mostly work outside Sweden. Like when I say international, then I mean like out, like with really with international clients. And this is a niche. If you like leadership, this is a niche. You can be partner with organization. You can really help them to grow, to become better, to be more. So look at their KPA. How can you help them?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Soha has raised hand.
Yes, I saw Mary previously raising her hand. If you'd like to go first, Mary.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, it's just that I want to make a comment. I've noticed that the common understanding of culture here is about having different backgrounds and I'm sure this is not what you meant about culture. Like, for example, I work in a society and community where we all come from the same background. So culture for us is having our norms and different educational backgrounds, different mentality, diversity in things other than having different nationality backgrounds. And I don't know if you agree with me.
Completely. And as I said in the beginning, now I say culture, I don't mean like diversity in general. I mentioned gender, I mentioned age, I mentioned like background. So absolutely organizational culture. So when you go to different organization, every organization have their own culture. So I completely 200% agree with you. So this is much bigger than just your like which country you come from.
Thanks, Sarah, for everything today. It was wonderful. I have one little bit of a question that may be a clanger, I don't know, but it just occurred to me now about the impact of, I'd love to hear your views, if you have any, on the impact of AI on cultural intelligence within our work as coach. Have you any views at the moment?
Now it is my personal. Now, so it is not based on research. This is not
Absolutely.
evidence. So I would say it's now when we work with digitalization with AI, it even make it more important with cultural intelligence because at the end we work with human, and this differences can get lost when we just use digital tools. So we find it even more important now to raise awareness about cultural difference, because again, I love AI, so it's really something I use daily, but just don't go, as I say, in your autopilot. Be aware what AI gave to me. Is this text? Can I use this? Can I use this? I'm just saying LinkedIn that AI is saying to me, or this conversation in this specific context with this specific client. So I find it even more important now. I don't know if it was answer to your question, Mary.
No, I'm just interested. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
For me, at the end, it's about human. It's about our interaction with each other.
Completely. Completely.
I see one more hand.
Thank you, Sarah. Actually, just to comment on Marie's point about AI, because I came from IT background. So a couple of things here. Number one, AI is as good as the people using it. That's number one. By the meaning of do not, and this leads me to point number two, do not trust the AI. Always challenge the AI. What is the source? What is the authentication? Why you are saying this? Give me, like, I'll give you a small example. I put my name in AI saying, can you please tell me what do you know about Mo? And it came up by like very interesting response, like, oh, he's a big entrepreneur, multi-million, and build so many startups, blah, blah. And they even give me some companies' names. So I challenged it. I said, so that's number one. For our business as coaches and also culture, one of the core competencies is presence, maintain presence. AI, well, up to this moment yet, cannot maintain this kind of presence with the client. So this is just something we keep in mind, that yes, it may help, but we need to be really careful on how to use it. Thank you, Sarah, for listening and giving me the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for engaging. We have a question in the chat that say cultural intelligence, it was more challenging or not. So the question, if I just the question was if it is about if it predict innovation, and that was the formulation of question, if diversity predict innovation, and this is meat indeed, because if you don't know how to react, it could be more stressful. So it will lead to more innovation, but just if you know how, it is like you have a superpower, but you have to know how you want to use this power. You have a super good tools, but if you don't know what to do, you can damage yourself. So it's about having the capability to how we can use it.
Sarah, it was in the second set. Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, when you had the second set of truth and myths, there were 4 statements. And in one statement, it said that cultural diversity makes it more challenging. So that was like, we didn't cover all the 4 of them, but I wondered that is that a truth or a myth then? That is it, would it be more challenging?
And
You can
based
ask
on
me.
what you heard from me now, what would you say?
So it is about understanding how to deal with it. But the ability to understand how to deal with it can be looked as challenging, that, it's more work. So I think it's person specific, but I was wondering is truth or myth.
If you don't know how to deal with it, if you don't learn the capability, then it could be challenging.
True, true, true. Thank you. I'm loving the session. Thank you so much for being present and here for us. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope it's really that you get something from this session. Again, if there is one message, you remember me, you remember Sarah, say, don't be on your autopilot. This is the message I want you to take with you, all of you. And thank you for joining, and hope see you soon again.